Man, did we have the right idea going double Lions running back on Monday? Unfortunately, Zay Flowers did not get the memo. You're watching the Perfect Lineup Showdown Edition, where Josh Engleman and myself, Dave Loughran, look to build a beauty, take down a tournament in the single lineup showdown streets tonight between the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. As always, we'll build out 3 of these, run them in the single lineup sims and see what we get. Might be positive, might be negative, but at the end of the day, we'll know what direction we should be taking once we get to 8:15 Eastern time. And of course, you guys want to get a free week of Sims Max for NFL for every single slate and every single tool? Leave a comment down below. If you can guess who wins and by how much, guess what? That may be coming your way. I don't want the final score. What I want is, hey, Seattle, 7 points, or Arizona by 3. Make it easier for us. And if you get it, we may be sending some sims your way. Of course, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and let's get into the video. All right, so we're going 3 builds here. I want to get a little weird with some of them. You know how we do it. It doesn't matter if it sims out well or poorly. The idea is for us to figure out what works. And I want to start with Trey Benson at captain in this first lineup. Josh is going to run the single lineup sims between all of these, and we'll come to a consensus, or at least get a conclusion when things are all said and done. And then JSN at flex, Zach Charbonnet at flex as well, and then we'll build the rest of this out. Now, Benson's probably priced where he should be, but he's kind of game script proof now that James Conner's done for the year. And I don't mean game script proof in the sense of like he can't have a bad game. Of course he can. And Seattle's defense looks very good, better than last year. Through 3 weeks, this is solid. Toughest matchups? Maybe not, but also they still look good. If the Cardinals are playing with a lead, playing from behind, or in a neutral game script, you have to assume that Benson is still going to be out on the field a ton. He's already running routes on almost 50% of Kyler Murray's dropbacks, and that number is only going to come up without Conner. Obviously, so are his rushing attempts, because DeMarcado is the only guy behind him, and he's not threatening. Not to mention on the other side of this, if we're getting into the flex, JSN, guys, you know, I don't have to tell you this, so I'll only take a second. JSN's just a straight no-brainer. 40% target share on the season. Running route or targets, 40% targets per route run is nuts. Darnold's attempted 9 deep attempts. 6 of those targets have gone to JSN. He's caught 4 of them. He has great yak ability as well. I mean, it's just simple. And by the way, guys, if you're not on Tails yet, before we run this, I'm not sure if you know this, but we're doing a $1,000 giveaway. If our lineup, because Greg lost a bet to me on when Jackson Dart will start for the Giants, he owed me an entry into the $100 spy. It's $100K up top. Look, chances are slim, but if we bink that, $1,000 is going to anyone who hits that fire emoji over on Tails. All of the bets there, all of the DFS content we post exclusive lineups from this video, from all of the videos throughout the week, only to Tails. One of them finished with 187 DraftKings points on the main slate last week. All of that is over there, totally free. You don't have to put a credit card in, nothing. You just sign up, create a free account, follow me. All of the bets. I have a nice Marvin Harrison Jr. prop today as well. And everything from Josh, some great NBA previews and NBA bets, future bets. Guys, check it out. We're building an amazing platform. You're going to want to be a part of it. But my point here is that with a JSN, you're going to play him. I'll throw another lineup over there that we're going to sim out exclusively for Tails. But when you get Charbonnet in the flex here, he's just dirt cheap. I know he missed Sunday's game. And, you know, after today, they're going to have a long rest, like a semi-bye week. So maybe on a short week, even though he got a full practice in, he isn't going to get a ton of work. But he should get enough. 5,400 is simply a mispricing here, and I don't think there's any 2 ways around it.
Here we go again. Single lineup simulator, Thursday night football, Seattle, Arizona. Laffy just hooked us up with Trey Benson in the captain spot, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Zach Charbonnet. That's the start of our first lineup. And the only thing we have to do to fill out the rest of this lineup and get our 3 optimal plays is just click complete this lineup, and it's going to maximize the space we have left. This one's going to be pretty interesting. We end up getting Sam Darnold. We end up getting Trey McBride. So 2 Treys for this one, always fun. And then the very interesting piece here, as a salary savings. Zonovan Knight, a $200 option, the best value play that we have, gets slotted in, leaves us $400 left over. Now I'm going to click Run Lineup Simulation to see how well does this lineup grade out. And that's a solid enough start. 29% sim ROI, a 0.2% chance to win, 45% cash rates looking pretty good, and a 2.3% chance of a top 10 lineup. This is an excellent start for the first of 3 lineups. Alrighty, folks, here we go. Time for the giveaway from Monday Night Football's version of the perfect lineup. You needed to guess the top scorer, and that answer ended up being David Montgomery, and only 2 of you got that answered. Lots of Lamar Jacksons. You didn't end up right. So the winner of this wheel spin needs to email support@stokastic.com. Take a screenshot of the screen that's on the screen right now while it shows Isaiah Wadsworth. You are the winner. Take a screenshot right now. Email support@stokastic.com. Claim your prize.
All right, let's go with lineup number 2. I want to try something out, and quite frankly, I don't think it's going to work, but we need to know, okay? We simply need to know. Kenneth Walker at captain. What happens here? What happens with Kenneth Walker at captain and Zach Charbonnet? We tried it with Gibbs at captain and Montgomery in the flex. We sort of swapped them. But that lineup on Monday that we built had both Detroit running backs and Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers as well, and that sucked. But I don't think Kenneth Walker at captain is going to sim out well. We're about to find out. Can we make a quality build with a guy who's probably one of the most overpriced players on this slate, even though I think he's good? He will get some goal line work, but so will Charbonnet if he's out there and he's healthy. You know, I look at this and I don't only want to show you guys positively simmed lineups. I want some that are going to be negative and for us to say, you know what, let's get away from that build. Now, obviously, if we're going Trey McBride at flex here, which we are, this is also a no-brainer. It's the second most obvious play, maybe just 1 and 1A behind JSN. There's ways we're gonna get weird on this one, and mainly the next lineup. And there's ways you can play it where, hey, where one of JSN or McBride isn't in a good lineup. I think you're gonna have a really tough time though simming out quality lineups if neither of those guys are in it. So let's take it to Josh and see what we can do here. McBride at flex, Walker at captain, Charbonnet at flex as well.
Now for lineup number 2, Laffy's got us going in a slightly different direction, because now we're locking in Kenneth Walker in the captain spot, a man who is right now projected for 2.3% ownership at captain. This is a much more unique style build, slotting him there. We grabbed Charbonnet as well. We also grabbed Trey McBride, who showed up in the first lineup. But the construction of this one, I'm expecting to look quite a bit different than what we saw in the first one. So I'm going to click complete this lineup to see what we end up with. And it certainly went another direction. Cooper Kupp is in. Elijah Arroyo is in. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba ends up back in the lineup again. 5-man Seattle stack, just Trey McBride. We'll click Run Lineup Simulation to see this one. Fingers crossed it's better than the first. And this is what happens when you try to take a risk. Not great, but that's what the single lineup is for. Maybe you have an idea that you want to try to explore. Something like Kenneth Walker in at the captain spot. But this is what it'll tell you here. This ended up being negative 53% sim ROI, 0 chance to win, 16% cash rate. What you should do with this second lineup, throw it straight in the trash. That is not going to be the path to victory today. And if it is, just remember, we built it here first, but they're not always roses. And I wanted you guys to see it. You can make your tweaks, move some stuff around in this lineup, and maybe you can improve it. Or maybe, just maybe, we need our third lineup.
All right, now we round it out with a very fun one. I have not run this yet. I haven't even looked at lineups in the Sims. I don't know how this is going to look, but we have to try it because people are going to want to get the Charbonnet. They're going to want to get to a kind of sluggish game script in this one. What I want to do, I want to go JSN at captain. I want to go Cooper Kupp at flex. And I want to go Sam Darnold at flex as well and run this on 15% randomness. Why? What if this game does happen to shoot out? JSN's the clear number 1, but albeit far behind him, Cooper Kupp is the number 2. You have guys like Elijah Arroyo, who, by the way, great value at $800. Not a good pass blocker, but a good pass catching rookie. And he's going to be a valuable guy down there to open up some salary cap. But at the same time, I just want to know, what does a Sam Darnold double stack look like against a banged up Arizona secondary in a game that only has a 43.5 point total? But if they move the ball well through the air, Cooper Kupp at his price may just come along for the ride enough to where this just ends up being potentially the best lineup from today's video.
Final lineup of the video. Lofty just gave us JSN in the captain spot. We've got Cooper Kupp and Sam Darnold, so we're already in for 3 Seahawks. We know another Arizona guy at least is going to get added to this one, but we're doing one slightly different thing. For the first 2 lineups, we added no randomness. We were just taking the optimals for our remaining spots. This time, we're going to put 15% randomness on this click of the complete this lineup button. That's going to let some of these guys wiggle around and hopefully give us a slightly more unique construction. We'll see once we have the data if this is a more unique construction, but it ended up giving us friend of a previous lineup, Elijah Arroyo. We end up getting Trey McBride as the only Arizona option. And then welcome back to the lineup again, Zach Charbonnet, $500 left on the table. We're going to be better than the second one, but can we run down the first? Not only did we run down the first lineup, but we built the best. We saved the best for last. 72% sim ROI, 0.6% chance to win, a 5% chance of a top 10 lineup, and a 42% cash rate. This is what the single lineup sim brings you. And I have all 3 lineups that we built here. The first one was fine. The second one was dreadful. Look at that. 82 fantasy point projection, 176% ownership. We're miles away from the other 2 lineups, but we ended it with a bang. I don't know if the first lineup is going to be the one we want. It feels pretty likely that the second one isn't, but I'm going to confidently say that the third lineup is the perfect lineup.